The Milwaukee Bucks are one of the top teams this season, but not for the reasons you might think. What exactly is the secret sauce that no one wants to talk about, as they've had an insanely underrated season? The first piece of this puzzle starts with breaking down this possession on the defensive end. The difference this year is the Bucks are staying home on shooters and not over helping. Notice how Carter is keeping his man from catching it deep. Not only that, but Grayson Allen is applying a ton of pressure chasing Klay Thompson off of that three-point line. Now the goal is unique and simple, and it's finding creative ways to keep Brook Lopez in the paint and funneling all of the drives to him. Compare this to their D last season, where it was more of a traditional team approach where everyone would help inside, which the Celtics took full advantage of in the playoffs when they knocked the Bucks out. Look here as DiVincenzo fights insanely hard over two screens and then funnels his defender directly into Brook. Again, we get DiVincenzo forcing the ball off of the line. Once Brook sees that, he drops even more as he's happy to give up the tough two. Look at how he is in his defensive stance. He stunts in, forces a pass, and recovers quickly to the ball because of his bent legs. This right here can be a problem when Lopez gets isolated on the strong side, but Coach Bud has a master plan for that as well, as Lopez completely leaves his man and Carter naturally switches to Lopez's player in the corner. Jrue Holiday doesn't even need to leave his man too much because of this and is able to contest the shot well. This play here shows us even more insight into this season. Notice the overplay on the perimeter. Brook Lopez chooses to guard the worst shooter on the floor and camp inside. As the drive happens, I found multiple things that I like. The first is Jrue Holiday. He doesn't even collapse on the drive, and he can take away that wraparound baseline pass. Even more, I love what Giannis does. He does come down to help alter that shot, but he isn't going for a block at all. He is closing out the drive, but he only focuses on getting his hands in the passing lane. You can see here that it's not always a perfect plan having Lopez move into the paint as his check sets a pin down screen. He isn't quite there to help. Actually, he's not there at all to help the switch, and the Bucks can sometimes get roasted. Now, a tough matchup can be Al Horford, as the Celtics are really smart and they will often isolate him as far away as possible from the closest guard. This makes it nearly impossible for Lopez to help unless he wants to give up an easy baseline three. Now, what about using this strat against an elite offense like the Warriors? Look here how the Bucks run a high version of drop coverage to chase Klay Thompson off of the three-point line. Klay does the right thing and hits Green on the short roll. However, there's a reason why Lopez leads the league in blocks. Watch how he holds his left hand out, not only to get his hand in the passing lane, but also to make sure he can feel if Looney is going to cut to the cup. As soon as he gets the commitment from Draymond, he uses his length to quickly protect the rim. When everything is executed to perfection, you get plays like this. Draymond Green targets Lopez to get a switch onto Steph. What this does is it gives Golden State options. If Lopez doesn't hedge on the screen, Curry can easily tie this game up. If Lopez doesn't come up, there isn't any rim protection. So the Bucks do switch it, but then immediately switch back and run Carter back into Curry. This pushes Lopez back into the paint as he leaves Draymond Green wide open and gets the block by Lopez. Now when Lopez is out of the game, the Bucks can actually mix things up and switch more, and they can really match up better against shooting teams. Here Giannis plays perfect defense as Tatum sizes him up, but this is just gooder offense. And sometimes when Lopez is out, you can see Giannis just tries to do a little bit too much on defense and can overhelp. Here Brogdon is clearly contained. All Giannis has to do is stunt and recover as he is the strong side help. What's unique about the Bucks is they are one of the only teams to actually play with two bigs on the floor. Check out the spacing here. Notice the pressure on the shooters, everyone's inside of the gaps, and Giannis can actually just go to work one-on-one, and that's pretty OP. Now the Bucks are perfectly designed to play around Antetokounmpo. They have surrounded him with deadly shooters who have had one of the most iconic months shooting the ball that you'll ever see. Which brings me to the next important factor on how all of this allows Giannis to attack the rim at an insanely high rate. Look at the attention the defense is giving the Bucks shooters. Giannis has a huge seal on the inside, but everybody's afraid to help. I would actually argue that they're just too stupid to help, but regardless, check out how tight Brooks' defender plays. Notice Lopez telling the team to move the ball the other way to Giannis, and the amount of outside helps make the defensive rotations too late. Giannis Antetokounmpo is having an insanely gooder season than you would expect for a few reasons you won't expect. The first is that he is number 1 in the league in assist percentage, which means the percentage of teammate field goals a player assisted while he was on the floor. Giannis accounts for an insane 31% of his team's made shots while he's on the floor. Giannis gets a big chunk of his assists in the post. Now he's in a bad spot here, so he wisely retreat dribbles, sheds a defender, and then resets the post up. Giannis has really improved this season in keeping his head up, and notice how he's being extra patient. You can see as soon as this defense collapses on him, he looks down low and zips a pass up top on time. Antetokounmpo has been operating out of the top as well, and he executes one of my favorite actions to run, a flare screen with a slip. Giannis is so lanky that he makes this pass look seemingly easy. I love when a big can snatch a rebound and just dribble up the floor and push tempo. Look how Giannis has a ton of pressure on his hip, but he still is able to keep his head up and his handle tight. He not only sees the double team, but he steps through and drops a nasty no-looker inside. Keep an eye on Giannis's shot as he psych! If you didn't see that one coming, you owe me a like, my friend. The Bucks are also running a lot more plays this year. Here's one of my favorite man-beater sets. First off, let's look at this play. Chris Middleton receives a screen at the nail and cuts to the top. Holiday then cuts through and gets 2 defenders attached to him. Now you might think that this wasn't by design, but the Bucks are smart. Just have a listen to the commentary.
First of all, there was no real screen, it was just a cut. There should be no reason that you're switching under those circumstances.
The actual reason Chris was so wide open is because the Bucks had ran this play a minute earlier. If the commentators were paying attention, the progression is exactly the same, with Chris cutting up through a screen on the nail. Holiday's cut actually went undetected, which forced Huerter to help inside, leaving Carter wide open for the 3. Check out the gravitational pull as Giannis takes one dribble towards the rim and he instantly collapses extra help defenders. So that Giannis wall that was invented by that 2019 Raptors team that basically just solidified everything and took away his drives completely, yeah, that can't happen anymore. The Bucks have built an elite team of shooters, and these shooters are legit, as you can see over here. Now this is crazy because Jevon Carter shoots a high clip, but what nobody knows is he is in the 90th percentile for blocks as a guard. Now just check out what he does here. Joe Ingles couldn't have made a worse decision in transition to go for that steal. Now look at Jevon though, he hustles back and is 1v3. Carter baits the pass by stunting towards Wagner and immediately moves towards Banchero. Now his instincts just take over as he knows he can't play Banchero straight up, so he swipes the ball away before he can get it up too high. Now the clamps are a real deal. Even without Lopez in the game, look at the respect the Bucks give Carter. Everyone is in the gaps, taking away the pass. Now, Carter gets blown by a bit, but he uses a sneaky hand check before regaining position. Carter always goes for the steals when the ball is being gathered into the shot form. Even though I made fun of him 2 clips ago, Joe Ingles has to be one of my favorite additions this year. He is a master at doing the simple things, like here, doesn't force a 3, attacks the closeout, takes 2 dribbles, jump stops way before he needs to prevent the turnover. Then he looks inside to collapse the defense and gets a guy wide open for 3. Or here, where he casually dribbles into the middle of the floor, looks to the wing just so he can get his man a great look at a layup. This doesn't seem like much, but he makes early and easy passes where he could hold the ball and try and force something inside Russell Westbrook. But he sees the defense collapse and simply moves the ball to the right spot. Love this one here. Skip pass over to Joe. He sees Giannis's man rotate to him, so he knows the Greek freak has an automatic seal on the inside. He makes the high percentage team play. How can you not be a fan of this man? Now, Jrue Holiday is the only NBA player to average 19 points per game, 7 assists, and 58% true shooting. What makes him truly special is he is a defensive cheat code, which is exactly why you should watch this to see the final piece of the Bucks puzzle.